Hi, welcome to another episode of The Good Life. Today we're going to be talking about champagnes. I would like to introduce you to a man who hated bubbles. What does that have to do with champagne? The man's name was Dom Perignon. He was a monk. By now I'm sure you might have heard about a particular brand of champagne called Dom Perignon. So what did Dom Perignon do? Or why was he, or how did he become part of the champagne story? What it was that during his time, champagnes go through something called a refermentation, in which something called the base, which is the first part of fermentation, is now poured into bottles after being blended, and then they add a bit of yeast and sugar into those bottles, and a second fermentation takes place inside the bottle, or what is known as re-fermentation. Now, during this process, it has been known that the pressure can build up so rapidly when the weather is warm that bottles could break, corks could fly out of the bottles, and you could lose entire productions. And Dom Perignon didn't like that, so he found a way to work around it, and he did this by creating certain rules that were applied to the world of champagne. For example, he specified the type of grape that should be used. He preferred Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is a red grape, but even though the liquid at the end of the day is not red, but it's a red grape. And he also had rules that had to do with from harvesting, taking care of the vines, when to harvest, how to even process, pressing and different aspects of the champagne process. And that's how his name got written into the annals of champagne. And then after those bottles are left to lie on their side for quite a while in the cellar, and then when extra alcohol, maybe 1 to 2% extra alcohol develops, and the liquid is a bit cloudy, so they have to find a way to disgorge that cloudiness. And a lady called Madame Clicquot, I'm sure you know that brand, Veuve Clicquot, was named after her. She created a process via which that disgorgement can happen. They would freeze the neck of the bottle, and after putting it on the side so that the sediments will go down, they'll freeze that little bit and then open the bottle, and that little cap will pop out, leaving behind clear liquid, and that is now covered properly with the cork, with the cage and everything that you see, and the champagne can now go to the market. Now, the period when the bottle is left to lie on its side is a minimum of 15 months, and some champagne producers actually do that for 3 years, before champagne goes to the market. Now, the thing about champagne is that champagne only comes from one area in France called the Champagne region. That is why they are named champagne. As a matter of fact, there's a process in place, or laws, or if you like, in place that make sure that only wines that come out of the Champagne region can be called champagne. So other regions have to find the way to produce the same wines because the process was in existence before the Champagne region adopted it or started using it. The process is used to produce cava in Spain. It's also used to produce something called Franciacorta in Italy, if I'm correct. And yeah, so other areas use that same method. It's called the classical method, or traditional method, if you like, for the production of champagne. Now, we're talking today about what the sponsor is bringing to the market. The sponsor of this video is bringing to the market a Crémant, as C-R-E-M-A-N-T. And what is a Crémant? Now, I'm going to read to you from a site called Wine Folly. A Crémant, or Crémant, is a group of sparkling wines made with the same technique as champagne, but from outside the Champagne region. There are 9 different Crémant wines of France and Luxembourg. The sponsor of this video is bringing in Crémant from Luxembourg, and we're going to be having a taste and a look at one of them. I can see the smile on my face. Definitely looking forward to this. There are other regions, but I'm not going to sit and tell you too much about that. That's not what this is about. This is all about what I'm about to taste, but I needed you to understand where everything is coming from. So let's get to it.
Allow me to introduce to you the Bernard Massard selection, a Cremant Luxembourg, brut made by the method traditionnelle, the same method used to make champagne. But because the grapes come from an area, or what they know in formal parlance as the terroir, that is very different, the taste of the grapes and the taste of the final product are also very different. And I'm about to share that with you today.
Amazing. It's always amazing watching those bubbles coming from the base of the glass and rising to the top. It just gives you joy, it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I don't know how it happens. It's just amazing. It's a very lovely feeling that you have before you even get to taste it. It sets the expectations. So let's taste it and see. Oh my days. This is lovely. This is the top of the line that they have. It's very dry. Very, very dry. It's a proper brut. But it's got a very long finish. It has a floral bouquet, you know, the aromas that you smell when you put it to your lip. Oh, by the way, most of your taste is smell. Oh yes. This is very nice. I highly recommend this. And yeah, it's cheaper than champagne. Just because it doesn't come from the champagne region. But it is made in the same way, with the same rigor and the same attention to detail as champagne. Look out for it.